Welcome to Athena After Dark, presented by Vagabond Chopper. I hope you all had a great week. We have tons of cool stuff going on, so let's kickstart this baby and get rolling. Donnie Smith Bike Show was this weekend, and I lived vicariously through all of my friends' photos and videos. Thank you, Chris and Heather, for posting such great videos. Everybody flood Facebook and definitely check out the Donnie Smith Bike Show. Happy birthday to Donnie. It was his birthday at the show, and we send all our love and thoughts and wishes to you for a wonderful day. I know you had one. Okay, so I'm excited about our guest. We're going to get started. You know, I like to get through the housekeeping and get right to it. Okay, so last week I told you about something super cool for the ladies. We have our first contest thanks to Harley Davidson. We have 2 Rider Academy passes, so that if you want to learn to ride, you just send me an email or go to at Athena After Dark Productions and send me a message for to win it. Okay, so you have to tell me why you want to learn to ride. If you're a guy, I'm sorry, this isn't for you. But if your chick wants to learn how to ride, that'd be cool if you send in a letter and have her tell me why. At the end of this month, because it is Women's History Month, I am going to pick 2 ladies next show that participated and sent in their letters, and then they're going to have a full rider course on me. So, and Harley Davidson. So that's exciting. And yeah, we got some good stuff tonight. I'm super excited. All right. So next we're going to go to Ask Athena. This one was good. Okay. And it's brought to you by Techno Research, our sponsor. So Andy in Killeen, Texas says, I like your show. I just happened upon it, and so I follow you. You recently posted a video to show others how to easily back up their motorcycle up an incline. Where else does your technique work? And do you have any other cool tips for other things? Okay, so I participated in the Women's Motorcycle Conference this past week, womensmotorcycleconference.com. Elisa had me there, and I did a little presentation seminar, and I used that video for one of the techniques for leverage on your motorcycle. The video was kind of funny. We didn't do a retake because I smashed my wedding band across it because I was being pronounced about how I was doing the technique, you know, showing everybody your hand on the handlebar, hand on the gas tank, and then you lift your feet and you pull and back up. The reason that I do that technique is because I ride ape hangers. So for me, if you're always pulling on the bars, they will come loose. That is a technique that I'm proud to share with everybody because someone wonderful shared it with me. And so in that regard, it works going uphill, backing up anywhere, actually. In the dirt, when you have to get out and you have to back up to pull forward, anything like that, it does work. It's a good technique. And a lot of people have commented about how you need strong legs or a strong back for that. Actually, it works pretty good. I had my tennis shoes on. I wasn't riding that day, so I just did it as a video to show the technique. But with boots on, it works super good. I've gotten my shovel head out of the dirt at the Broken Spoke many a times using that technique and anything else I ride. So that's it does work there. Any other cool tips for other things? Only thing I can say is after Daytona, I wish there was a course on pick your feet up. Don't drag your feet. Even in traffic when you're going along, learn your own version of the slow race, you know, or stop and wait until enough room has gotten through and you can ride past. Because dragging your feet, a lot of people don't realize there's debris on the road, a manhole cover, something that you wouldn't necessarily be paying attention to because you're paying attention to the slow moving traffic ahead of you. It'll catch you and throw you on the ground, and that's always a bummer. And the only other thing is kickstand springs. That was something I talked about at our seminar. Make sure your kickstand spring's always good. It's helpful, I promise. Okay, so again, I'm excited about tonight's guest. So we have our next segment, A Dose of Goodwill. And this is actually something that is pretty cool. Old National Bank is doing amazing things for nonprofits, okay? So tonight, I'd like to ask you to go to the link on the screen and please vote in the Choose Your Charity page for a wonderful nonprofit that is a passion of our guest this evening. So if you go there and you choose Midwest Women Riders, you can vote daily through the end of March. And if they get the most votes, they get a nice grant for their nonprofit to go ahead and inspire and do the things that they do, which we'll talk about tonight. So I'm, again, super excited. oldnational.com/CYC, choose your charity, and it'll bring you to the correct page, and you go ahead and you vote. You just type in there Midwest Women Riders, and it'll come up and you can vote, like I said, every day. So we'd appreciate it if you do that. That would be really good. And it's something good, always do what you can to give back, right? It takes one click. All right. Okay. So we're going to have a word from our advertiser. Dawn's doing a great job.
Hi, I'm Dawn. Me and Andrew own Seaside Subs at Deerfield Beach. Come see us. We'll make you a great sub. Have a great day.
That is cool. We made it work. He's doing an A and I made it back on the screen. I'm so excited. Babe, extra cookies tonight for you. You're doing a good job. Thing one, I gave him the night off. Dawn needs practice in case I need them to do other things. I always have one that can push all the buttons. All right. So tonight, I'm super excited. This evening, I'm honored to have a wonderful lady who is an inspiration to all of us, for sure. She rides the shit out of her motorcycle, and she puts on an amazing annual women's event, and she's tonight's spark. So she also makes jewelry and stuff like that. Miss Ellie Rains. I'm super excited to have her tonight. And then we're going to show some pictures first. Everybody knows I like to show the cool pictures, and then we'll bring her on and we'll ask all our questions. All right. Dawn is doing a fantastic job. Look at her. She's a badass on her motorcycle. She does too. She rides everywhere. We rode on the Chicks on 66 a little bit through Illinois. It was pretty cool. All right, look at that. And her bike is beautiful. And it is absolutely, she rides. There's no BS about it. And everyone knows I like to have everyone on the show who loves what they do. And Miss Ellie loves what she does for sure. There's her, Miss Gloria. Oh, my heart. I think that's every woman rider's heart. Look at how beautiful she is. See how decked out with her hat. She's got it going on. All right. Look at that. And that's what she does. She makes that happen. She really does. Okay. Look at all the fabulous faces and the good times. We're going to talk about what it is that she does and what the event is. And I'm excited about that. I love all these pictures. Now, everybody knows that I get to see the pictures right before I ask the guests to send pictures they like. So, all right. Miss Terry Collier says she's used the reverse method for years and it works. Everyone use it. And yes, pick up your damn feet before you take home a broken ankle. Someone who knows. Look at all those women. Look at that. Isn't that incredible? That is incredible. I mean, just inspires me. She inspires me every time. Her smile, everything about her inspires me. And she rides. Look at them. And that's the Midwest. That's the real deal there. Yep. She's got her braids going. Love her selfies. Hey, look at that picture. That is the Fantastic Four there. Miss Ellie, Miss Vicky, me, and Miss Gypsy. Oh, goodness. That was at the museum in Milwaukee at the start of Chicks on 66. That was fantastic. What a great time. All right. And there you go. So they have their GY Go 2023. This is part of the event that we're going to talk about. This is a women's event that she puts on. It's fantastic. We have a lot of good friends there this year too. I looked at the lineup. Oh, hey, I made another one. That's a good one too. That was in Sturgis. So see, and she rides everywhere. She goes everywhere. All right. And these are the flyers that you can see. We'll make sure we just got the new website. We're going to have it live. So we'll make sure all this information is up there for the event as it's coming up. And we're going to promote it a little more over the next couple of weeks. Look at that. Look at Miss Gloria and her. Somebody brought their puppy dog. Gotta love that for sure. All right. I'm going to bring her in. I'm so excited. You guys are going to have a great time. She's fantastic. I love her so. Miss Ellie.
Hey, hi.
You're coming into the picture now. There you are. Look at you.
Well, look at you. And thank you so much for having me tonight. What a nice thing. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. I don't know how the weather is here, but I'm sweating. It was 89 today. We can't get away from the heat. I know you guys can't get away from the cold, right?
Well, to me, it felt mild out there today this spring, and we did get a little dusting of snow yesterday, and we've had some snow, but it's that Chicago weather where one day it can be warm and the next day it can be cold. So it just kind of goes back. But hopefully we're heading into spring full speed here and not a whole lot more of that white stuff. We don't want any more of that.
Oh, I imagine not. Oh my goodness. So how have you been? How are things going on? Good?
That's fantastic. This event that I'm doing, Ticket sales are through the end of this month, so that's a countdown. There's like, just till Thursday is when our cutoff is. Thursday at 11:59 is when we'll take our last ticket, and then after that we'll be sold out. Right now we're about, I believe, 520 tickets sold so far. So yeah, and women are coming in from all over the country for this. They're all riding in. We've got ladies from Florida, New York, way out west, up from Minneapolis, Minnesota. So it's going to be a great event. Planning's going well.
Tell everybody a little bit about it. Let's from your perspective, tell us about the ride and the whole organization.
Well, it started out just as you said, just a ride, and from a handful of girls, we've grown into this thing where now it's a weekend event. We do the big thing that we do is not only do we raise money for charity with all of our raffle baskets and that we sell, but we do a nonstop escorted ride by the Illinois State Police on Saturday, and that day coincides with with International Female Ride Day.
Great.
So all of us will kickstands up, nonstop 60-mile ride. You never have to put your foot down, and we do a real nice ride out in the country, out in McHenry County, and come back to the dealership, and then after that we'll go back to the hotel. This year is in Crystal Lake, the Holiday Inn Convention Center, and that's where we'll have our our celebration that night, and Gloria will be there, and Chris Simmons, and a whole bunch of other really, really awesome people will be there. So backing up to Friday, though, that's when we'll have all of our workshops and all of our speakers. That starts at 9:00 in the morning and goes till 6:00 that night.
Okay.
So it's nonstop workshop for these ladies. I'm so excited because each presenter has something different to share. So they'll gain a lot of knowledge, a lot of inspiration, just learn a whole lot of stuff, and it'll be fun at the same time, along with all the vendors, all of the raffle baskets that you can have a chance to win, all of the activities, live music, party, meet and greet. There's a lot to mention here.
Mention the dates so that they can fit it into their schedule after they watch tonight and they want to go get their tickets right away. Give them the dates so they know to plan.
Right, because the end of the month, there's no more tickets. So we have to do a really strict cutoff this year because there's a lot of things in food, like ordering all the food and all that kind of stuff. So, and they're going to get a really nice event T-shirt and a swag bag too. Got to throw that in.
And that's in May.
Yes.
Okay.
May 5th and 6th, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Check in on the 4th.
Check in on the 4th. Okay.
Yep.
All right. And I'm bummed I couldn't make it this year, but next year it's on my calendar. I already put it on my calendar of stuff to do for sure.
It coincides with International Female Ride Day. It's always that first full Saturday weekend in May is when our event is.
What a fantastic ride you're going to have too. You'll have women from all over. I'm so excited for you. That is so awesome.
And we have a lot of new riders that come to this event, and it's always really cool to see them at the end of the ride. They'll come and like, I can't believe it was just so empowering. I felt so cool. All of us women riding along. And what's really nice is the whole, it's in Woodstock, Illinois is where we do our ride out of Woodstock, Harley-Davidson. And a lot of the town people come out to watch us. And it's so cool. They like, wow, those are all women. There's not a guy in the bunch except for like the state police. But
we can't request all women because they probably don't have a lot on their staff, I'm sure.
Well, we have some women straight, but the guys have always showed up. I think they kind of like us.
Yeah, what's not to like, right? Hot chicks on motorcycles.
Right.
Who's gonna argue with that? That's so cool. Chris Summer Simmons says she'll be there. Debbie Rakowski, I don't want to massacre her name. Yep. Dennis Stauber says he's proud to see all of us ladies off again. It's so cool. It is like you said, it's very empowering. So that
whole thing is.
But you inspire us all the time because every time I get around you, I feel like you light me up. It's so cool. And then when we got to ride together, we were riding next to each other, and it was like, this is so cool because very rarely, we're all doing something that we get to actually ride with our friends and get to hang out. And it was a good time. That was one of the highlights of my trip. So
And for me too, Athena, that was, I mean, I had to like pinch myself because I couldn't believe that was a very last minute thing for me. I didn't plan on going with you guys.
Right.
And then Vicky Sanfilippo was very instrumental in pushing that forward, and Chris too. And it was such a wonderful thing to be part of what you girls were doing. It's that in itself was so empowering. And riding into Chicago, following up these ladies on their antique bikes, it was amazing.
It
And
was
then,
a cool event.
yeah, and then I couldn't do the whole ride with you, but I know some of them were bummed because they like, oh, you're not going. We really like those lights on the back of your bike, because protection thing.
Yep. Oh yeah, because some of their motorcycles were old and had 6-volt systems in them still, so there wasn't a lot of lighting going on.
Yeah.
That was very cool though, and I did enjoy that. So, okay, everybody, Miss Ellie, Jenny Bass, I see her on the screen, and if you can see some of the comments, it's cool. It's nice to have everybody here.
Pointed that I was not going to go on because of the lights. Because oh man, those lights!
That's so awesome. Miss Chris, she says she loves riding with us both. So how lucky are we? We have such an awesome group of women, and it just grows and exponentially as events like yours happen and events like we participate in, and we all get together at biker bells and things of that nature. It's phenomenal. I'm grateful and appreciative of it. That's for sure. So are you ready for some questions?
Man, you had a lot. I had to sit down with my husband, Tim. I'm like, man, I mean, she's really asking some questions. I had to really think about stuff.
That's what it's all about.
I go answer right up. I got to think about this for a minute. Okay, go ahead.
That's awesome. So we're going to do the just for fun questions to start out.
Okay.
Dogs or cats?
Doggies. Mr. McLovin, he's our rescue doggy.
And what breed is he?
He is a bulldog mix. We're not quite sure what he is, but we rescued him in December, and he's grown to love us and everybody that he meets. He's going to be 3 coming up. So
he's a good looking dog. I saw pictures. He is a good looking dog for sure. That's the best way too, is to rescue animals. Yeah. So many need homes for sure. Right. And not to cut us all off, but to mention anybody who can help with the animal situation or the people situation in Mississippi, all the horrible tornadoes that went on, please make sure you guys do your part however you can. Please just do whatever you can. Say a prayer, however it goes. All right, we're going back to the questions. Apples or oranges?
I like them both, but when I'm traveling, and I'll kind of cover this in one of your other questions, I like to keep apples because they're quick to eat.
Okay.
And they're good for you. And they're good for your teeth and everything else. I like them. So, I don't really have a favorite though.
Okay. All right. Hotel or camping?
Well, at this stage of the game, I'm going to say hotel. And another reason is because my husband is like a holodome kind of guy. He's not a camper. I've tried to get him to go, and he went one time and that did it. But I wouldn't mind camping. I camped as a young girl. So if I had a cushy mattress, one of those air mattress things, and the weather wasn't hot, I would try it again for sure.
Okay. All right. I'm good with that. Okay. Slow, fast, or faster?
Okay. If I'm out on the open road, I'm cooking. I'm not messing around. If I got to get somewhere, in fact, Tim, I usually lead. Tim is my husband, by the way. He'll lead behind, way the heck back there. And finally, I go, what are you doing? He goes, don't worry about it. I'll catch up to him. Like, well, I know you will, but I like speed. I'm careful though. And there's times where I don't go fast all the time. Like if I'm on a road I don't know, I'm not going to race down it. If it's a 2-lane back road, I'm not going to race down it if it's hilly on that. But when I'm heading to Sturgis, you better believe, girl, I've got it going on down there.
I know you do too, and your machine definitely goes. That's for sure.
You got miles to cover.
That's right. Miss Vicky does the same thing. That's why you two are so good together.
Oh heck yeah!
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, sunshine or moonshine?
I love sunshine, and moonshine. I will drink that with my son-in-law, eBay Jake. When we go down to visit him in North Carolina, we usually take a friend makes some moonshine and we take it with us. And that's really the only place where I drink it is with Jake. And my
So
husband and my daughter.
eBay Jake is your son-in-law?
Yeah.
So I've met your daughter because when they lived down here, I used to go and detail bikes for him when he was flipping bikes. It was like a little side gig. He'd say, "Would you come over and do them?" And yeah, so I've met your grandkids. And what a small world. How cool is that?
You knew that.
I didn't
Now
know
I
that.
know.
Now I know. Did you see the surprise on my face? It's like, oh my goodness, that's so cool. Your daughter's super
That's
cool.
our son. We call him son. He's our son-in-law, but he's our son.
Right. Yes. He's an awesome guy too. I always call him a kid because, you know, they're kids to us. Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah. Yeah. I've watched him do many wheelies and all that good stuff for years. Yeah, that's too cool. All right. So what is your favorite song?
Favorite song? Again, I like all different kinds of music. I like rock, though. It would have to be my favorite. I got to tell you just a quick little story, and it's regarding, I know Chris on here. It's regarding the Doobie Brothers. Okay. And this was when my husband and I were dating, and we were heading into Chicago. We live out in DeKalb Sycamore area, which is 50 miles west of Chicago. So back in the day when this was when 8-tracks were a thing, we were heading into Chicago, you know, not a care in the world. The Doobie Brothers are on the 8-track, you know, and it's cranked. We're going along, and all of a sudden we get stopped, and it was an Illinois state trooper, and he walks back to the car, and I'm like, oh God, here we go. He looks down, and he goes, Doobie Brothers will do it to you every time. Meaning the Doobie Brothers, you know, that kind of like, I don't know what song it was, but man, we were speeding.
So you're cranking on Doobie Brothers. He pulls you over and listens to the music and blames the music, right?
Looked down at we turned it off because we were stopped by the cops, and he looked down. He knew that music has a big impact on how fast you're going, even on the bike. I mean, you know, it does. It kind of just don't think, and you accelerate a little faster. Well, that happened to us back in the day when we were just young people.
You're still young. Don't sell yourself short. Young at heart is what counts. I know that for a fact.
Brothers, they're my all-time favorite, but I do like a lot of other different artists too. But they're near and dear to my heart because that's what I grew up with. You know,
and it had to be rocking down the highway. That's the one that makes me speed all the time. 100-mile-an-hour music.
It probably was that one.
Oh, okay. What is your favorite road food?
Okay, road food, I would have to say deep fried Wisconsin cheese curds.
Oh.
But that's like if we stop somewhere and you have that. But if I'm traveling fast to get somewhere, such as Sturgis or wherever I'm going, then I carry with me beef jerky, trail mix, water with electrolytes in it, and like an apple, something easy to eat. And when I gas up and I quick throw some food in my mouth and I'm back on the road again. I don't mess around. My husband doesn't like that part. So when I'm traveling by myself on my bike, that's what I do. But when I'm with him, it always takes, sorry, Tim, but it takes us a little longer to get there.
And yes, I wanted to say hello to Tim because I know I follow you guys and what you always got going on. I see the dog and stuff like that. And I know he's somewhere in the background watching. But, hi, Tim.
Rolling his eyes.
It's all good. Okay, if you were a cocktail, what would you be?
At this point, I would be a mocktail. And the reason being is I'm still recovering from New Year's Eve, believe it or not. Yeah, it was bad. It was good while it was happening, but the aftermath wasn't great.
You're like me. I have to plan 2 weeks for a hangover because one drunk is all it takes.
Oh, it was bad. Chocolate martinis, champagne, apple pie shots.
Okay.
It just went. It went to
good going down. I don't know about the other side.
The other way. It was horrible. Horrible.
You're so awesome. Mocktail. Okay, so at this point you'd be a mocktail. We'll have to have you back on sometime in the near future and see if that changes. That question changes at all for sure. All right. So we're going to get to some serious questions. You ready?
Okay. All right.
All right. How long have you been riding?
I have been riding, serious riding, since 2008 when I got my Harley. But before then, I had to get some notes out here because I rode before that, but it wasn't as serious as I am now. Tim and I, when we were dating in high school, we used to both ride together on a 100 Honda. And
Okay.
we were talking about that. He goes, I don't know how we both fit on that. Well, we were both skinny then. Yeah. So we both would tool around on town and, around town on that thing. Um, the bike that I learned on was a Honda XL 125 in 1975. And he taught me how to ride that. And where he lived, when he was growing up, they had a big field by their house, and it was the best. I would get going on that, and you shift and all that stuff, and I felt so free. And I think that's when I got the bug. Well, that's when I got the bug. But I knew then that that would be something that I'd want to probably continue to do. But at the time I was young, and you just do stuff like that. You don't really think about it.
Right.
After that, a 1976 KZ 900 Kawasaki, which belonged to my husband, but I would get on it and just ride around the neighborhood on it. Nothing serious.
Right.
Then I got my first bike, a KZ 650 Kawasaki 1979. And I didn't have it very long because it was pretty peppy. And my husband taught me how to ride, and I wasn't really that experienced. And I can remember it as clear as day. Tim probably didn't want me to share this, but I'm going to, because it's part of it all. We went out to breakfast in the morning, and I was with him and some other guys. So, being the only chick, you're trying to keep up with these guys. We were pulling into the place we were going to eat, and there was a Corvette right there. It was either hit the Corvette or go down, and that's what I did. So it scared me. So
Okay.
for a long time, I didn't ride. We got rid of the bike, and he got a different bike. And I think there was times where I did mess around on his bike a little bit, but it wasn't serious. Then kids came and all that kind of stuff. And then in 2008, that's when I got my first Harley. And I did all this riding prior, not being I wasn't legal. I did not have a license like a lot of people do. You just go out and ride around. You're not legal. But I had to be legal. 2008, you have to have a license, or you should have a license, and I needed one. So I went ahead and bought the bike prior to getting my license. So when I took that safety class that everybody talks about, highly recommend, by the way.
Yes.
Everyone should do that. The pressure was on. I had to pass that class because I had this bike. So I can remember it being, it was put on through the state. It was a boot class type of training. It was very serious, as it should be. And you showed up on time. If you didn't show up time, they showed you the door. If you didn't have the gear, they show you the door. It was a very serious matter. But I can remember everybody got an envelope, and I couldn't open mine. And there was two other girls in the class, and the one girl across me, she was, I'll open your envelope for you. And she did. And it was like, I was so elated with the outcome. I made it. So, that's when it really started for me, was in 2008. And when I got my Harley. And then once you got me on that bike, I can remember I was like biting at the bit. Are we going to go out for a ride now? Because I wanted my husband to go with, and he's like, he's been riding for years. So he's like, okay. He wasn't excited like I was, because this was all really, really new to me. And I was enjoying it so much. But that's why I'm really passionate. Kind of brings me to probably one of your other questions, why I started Midwest Women Riders. And it wasn't always called that. It was called like Northern Illinois Riders or something like that. But as it grew, other women were coming in from the Midwest, so I had to change the name, right?
Right.
And after that, it just become nationally known, which is really cool. But we're doing what a lot of other groups do out there. But I think what kind of puts my group apart is we're not a club, we're not a group, a riding group. We're very chill, and I wanted to do that for a reason, because at the time I was working crazy hours, and I really didn't feel like I could commit to like a club or a group. So I wanted something really chill to where if we do a ride, no one had to feel obligated to have to be there. You know, they did it on their terms. If they had the time to do, everybody's busy. So I wanted something like that, a community for women to support women who ride, and for especially for women who want to learn how to ride, who have a serious desire to want to do what we do, because there's a lot of them out there. Especially during riding season, you see so many more women out there.
So
I'm
many.
sure it's the same in your area too, Athena, because up here in the Chicagoland area, we have a strong showing of women riders. So it's very, very empowering. And I'm not to say anything bad about the groups and clubs; those are fantastic. But it just wasn't for me. And 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 we welcome groups and clubs to come into this community that we have too, because it also helps to support what they do. And maybe there's a lady out there that wants a little bit more structure and wants to join part of a group and be more involved and have like a more structure with riding with other women. So
And there's a lot of things to take into that. I mean, when I started riding in the early 80s, there were no women that rode like here. And it's grown exponentially, like we talked about. And by being part of something, like I'm a motor maid. So, and that was where I fit. It was just a thing where I fit. I met Doris Bird and I fit. But like you said too, there's also a lot of things that are involved in that you can get from something like your event that's structured in your community, because there's a lot of things riding in a group that people don't understand and you have to learn. And so there's and it needs to be taken very seriously. And I know you're very serious, especially about riding, because I get that totally. And anybody who follows you will know that you are very serious. But it's cool how you inspire other women, not just the ones who are new riders, but all of us who are veteran riders. You still inspire us because we get to see what transpires from what you do. You know what I mean? You bring in new groups, you bring in young people, you bring in older people. It's amazing. So, and that's one of the things that's important. Like you said, getting your license and taking the course should be it needs to be a serious thing, because again, your safety is involved in what you do. Little seminars I give about reading and things like that, and not just reading pamphlets or brochures or books, handbooks. It's about reading the road and reading the terrain and the traffic and the mirrors, and there's so much to it. So that's awesome. And at your event, they can go to the seminars and learn all these different things that are valuable and you take with you.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot. We're going to have Henrietta is going to be there she did the Hoka Hay. She did that challenge. Debbie Wilder is going to be there. She's calling her workshop is called Doing It in the Dirt. So she's going to talk about an adventure that she was on last year, adventure riding.
Cool.
Those are just a couple of there's so much though. So it's going to be very inspiring for these ladies. Maybe we've got a new writer that all she's really capable right now is just riding around their neighborhood. And if she comes to this event, it's going to inspire her to venture out maybe a little bit more, like, gosh, if these ladies can do it, I can too.
Right. A little push to get outside the comfort zone. And we've all been there and we've all needed that at some point. So there's no reason to feel like it's not something you can't do. You just have to have others inspire you. And I mean, you especially, you do a great job of inspiring many women riders out there. That is for sure.
And there's a lot of ladies out there like yourself and many others, and a lot of the ladies that come to the event that inspire me as well. There's nothing more inspiring than seeing a brand new rider and how excited they are and the messages that we get after the event of Ellie, personal messages that people send me of how it impacted them. And I would have to, that would be, not to call it a reward, but it is sort of that, you're doing something right here and it's affecting people in a positive way. So
yeah, it fills you up inside. It fills up your soul so you can go and inspire more. That's what you have to do.
Right.
That's why we do what we do, because we're passionate about it, and that's the reward. And there's nothing wrong with that. It is that's something you can't buy with money. You cannot. Right. It's intangible. So, okay, we're going to get on with the next question. Okay. What are your favorite rides, your favorite motorcycle to ride, and your favorite route to ride?
Okay, when you say favorite, I'm going to talk about my go-tos. If I need to dash out for a day or whatever, I'm going to head west. West for me, because we live 50 miles west of Chicago, that's going to take me out by the Rock River. Route 2 is a very popular route in my area here. It's a real quick ride to get out there, and then riding along the river, it's gorgeous. Farther west takes me to the Galena Territory area where there's some amazing roads, more hilly and curvy roads out that way. And then on up into Wisconsin, into the I would have to say the southwest area of Wisconsin, going up along the Mississippi. There is gorgeous. And let me also include coming down on the other side, Minnesota over that way, coming down on that side of the Mississippi is beautiful. So that area there close by, of course, Sturgis is near and dear to my heart. And also Tennessee is one of my all-time favorite states to ride into.
Okay. And then your favorite motorcycle to ride, of course.
It'd have to be my Street Glide right now. And because of, I just like the way everything is set up on it right now. For me to have to do a different bike at this point in time, my bike is set up how I feel good on it. And,
right.
Yeah, Street Glide.
It's a gorgeous bike too. It is definitely a gorgeous bike. Yeah. All right. So then what is your favorite event?
Favorite event? Well, typically when I go to an event, I have a good time wherever I go. I'm, taking it all in. I'm meeting new people, seeing old friends. Mm-hmm. So I would have to say I like going to Daytona because of Jake racing in the Sons of Speed and the family that is there. Mm-hmm. All of the racers, it's like a big, giant family who Tim and I have become to know all of these people. And we couldn't go there last year. And the word was that a lot of
sorry about that. we're on a drag strip here at the shop. It's like the late night drag strip, so it's kind of a once in a while we'll get that. On a Monday we hope that we don't.
That was okay.
But sound effects, yay!
Yeah. So Sons of Speed is a favorite of ours, of course. All of the antique bikes there, I'm fascinated with them. Man, I would love to at some point own not a real old one, but I'd like a vintage Harley at some point, so I can hang with you girls, on your vintage bikes. But
love it.
Yeah, I like that whole thing down there in Daytona. Sturgis is fun. The Biker Bells I've always enjoyed. Hanging out there with all of the girls, and that's a day-long festivities of a lot of fun. And they had a great turnout in Daytona this year.
Yes.
Phenomenal. Yes, that was really great to see. Tennessee Motorcycle and Music Revival. I'll be heading down there after my event in May. It's the middle of May, and I'm doing a ride there for them on Saturday morning. I believe it's on the 21st. Yes. For the Tennessee Motorcycle and Music Revival. And then, of course, I have more than one favorite. Sorry.
Love it. Oh, all of them. Let's have it.
The anniversary, 120th anniversary for Harley Davidson. I'm very excited about that, and hope to be involved in some things that they have going on there. So, are you coming up for that?
I am going to come up for that. They're going to open the women's exhibit, and apparently Miss Vivian and I and Miss Chris and a few others have a little blip in there. So
awesome.
That's
right.
For me, that's priceless. I cried for days over that.
Don't cry. Tears of joy, right? That's
yes. Oh, but I'm a Harley baby, so like that's like I live and breathe it. So in that regard, that was an honor beyond. Yeah. And I, again, invaluable, the chicks on 66, Miss Karen and Miss Shadow and all the ladies that, made all that happen. If it wasn't for them, that wouldn't have happened for me. So I'm super grateful and super ecstatic about that. We had, it was amazing. So yes, I'll be there. I think we're going to pitch a tent at Miss Vicky and Pan's house in the backyard.
Be a good place to stay. You'll be taken care of there.
Oh, yes. Oh, the best. Oh, my goodness. And then we get to go to the Italian deli. Oh, if I could just remember the name of that place. It was so good. I'll get Tony Panda. He'll tell me. So next week I'll tell everybody. And
Okay.
oh my goodness. Yeah. He's the two of them. That's their town. So they know everyone. You go in every little store we went in, they know them. So I felt like so privileged to be there when we started out in Milwaukee. So I'm looking forward to going back for sure.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Good.
very cool.
I'm
Okay.
excited I'm going to see you there.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to see you a couple times this year, hopefully. We'll
Mhm.
get a chance to ride together. We'll sneak off and
Yeah.
go for a ride. That would be
Sounds
cool. So, what is the most fun you've ever had on a motorcycle?
the most fun I've ever had on a motorcycle. Oh, racing with my husband down the interstate. And this doesn't sound very safe at all, but I guess we were doing close to 100. And I, because we were talking about this, because I have fun wherever I go, right? And I'm thinking the most fun, and he mentioned that right away, because apparently it was his most fun time on a motorcycle. Oh yeah, okay, well that would be good to talk about that. I guess it doesn't sound very safe though, but it was on the interstate,
That's okay.
and, um, I mean, but
Let's hear it.
what
We
I
want the story.
well, whenever we travel to anywhere, he'll get a wild hair and he'll like come up with this kind of a grin on his face. So I kind of know what that's about, right? So it involves acceleration, and before you know it, he's way ahead of me. But I gotta tell you, when I get up to close to like the 90 something mark, I get nervous.
Okay.
I can't, for some reason I just can't break that 100 mark. He was way down there, but I'm like, okay, you go ahead and do what you got to do, but that's fast enough for me. But
That
it's
was
not,
math.
like miles it's just like crack the throttle and go faster a little bit and then you're done. But
And you're on wide open roads too.
don't do that either.
It's okay. There's not. It's what you're comfortable. I tell everybody, go at your own pace. I mean,
Right.
I've been pulled over for doing in excess of that speed. So yeah, but again,
Too.
yeah, that's, and you know where your limit is. So that's the important part. That is it. And
Right.
that's fun racing, especially if you're with your husband. Because later you get to find out or finish the race and find out who actually wins, right?
Oh, he always wins because I chicken out. One thing that I would say is when we're coming home, like from a big trip, and we're coming back closer to home, it's always, I don't know what it is, but we kind of like, he'll pull up next to me and we'll look at each other like, this was a good trip. I guess that's what kind of sticks in my mind too, is that moment when we're together and coming back after a good, safe trip. Here, I said safe, and I was just talking about racing down the interstate, but that kind of solidifies it for me. The end of our trip being a good trip and being with him. I enjoy riding by myself, but I enjoy also riding with my husband. So
Yeah, a partner in crime. That's got to have one. That's it. So then I guess the next question, what's the worst experience you've ever had on a motorcycle?
well, the worst experience I would have to say is when I was heading out to Sturgis and I was with my friend Lynn Fallon, and we were heading out there with I'm trying to think what the organization is. The Bikers for Bullies. They had like a charity ride, but everybody was kind of riding on their own. It was just her and I. We got caught up in this torrential downpour, and I thought it would be cool going out to Sturgis wearing my half helmet. Don't ever do that on a road trip. Always make sure you have a helmet or something that's going to cover your face, because you can't see. Can I say shit?
Yep, you can say it.
You can't see shit if you're wearing.
Damn hell.
You can't see shit if you're wearing a half helmet in a rainstorm. The water's getting on the inside and everything. It's like, why the heck did I think I should wear a half helmet? And my jeans grew like 3 sizes.
Oh yeah.
Didn't have my rain gear. We got caught. So the big statue that's out is it South Dakota? The Indian lady? What is her name at that truck stop? Dignity.
Yes.
We were there for probably 3 hours because the rain never let up and everybody's pulling in there. But riding in rain like that, because we were stuck on the interstate too, and it was not safe pulling over. It was just, you couldn't see and people couldn't see us. So
Right.
I'd have to say, being prepared for long distance traveling and wearing a full face helmet or something that's going to cover your head, and putting your rain gear on before you get drenched.
Right. Yeah, that is a bad experience. There's nothing fun about it, you
No,
know.
but it was
No, especially
part of the adventure though too.
yes. Yes. And it teaches you the things that you need and you don't need, because I know I bring my rain suit and it never rains, but if I don't bring it, I get poured on all the time. So
Right.
I understand that. So who is your childhood hero?
My dad. And the reason being is I could always talk to him about stuff, and he would always give me his advice, even if I didn't ask for it, but he would always follow up with, but you do what you need to do. It wasn't like, well, I would do this and I would do that, and you need to do this. And it was always, he would listen, to what I'd have to say, but always let me make the final decision with his learning lesson first,
Mm-hmm.
then, but you make your own decision. So I miss him. He's passed on, both my parents, but that just my dad always would instill me with, thoughts like that, and just different things on his upbringing kind of flew over into mine. So
Right.
how at things and that kind of thing. I miss him.
Yeah, I miss my dad too. I understand that. That's that thing. So, and that's my dad's motorcycle behind me. We changed the backdrop. Sometimes it's my bike, but that's his bike. We've had it since he
Oh,
passed away. It's my grandson's actually. So he'll grow into it. He's 4, but he'll grow into it.
oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. So then, who is your motorcycle hero?
Gloria. Gloria Tremonton Struck.
Hmm.
There's everything about her is, she inspires me, and her outlook on everything, and just the woman that she is and all that she's accomplished. She's inspiring to so many. I mean, not only women but men too. Men are very interested in what Gloria is up to. So
She's
um
done so much. She's
yeah,
amazing. Yes. Have you read the book?
I have.
I love that book.
Yeah, yeah. And
If
going to be at the
eh,
event too. So,
she will.
we'll be enjoying her Saturday evening at our banquet dinner. So I'm excited for that to happen too.
That
That's
is
going to be
so
a pretty cool moment.
so cool. And for any of the ladies that are going, make sure you bring extra cash so you can buy the book, because it's
Yeah,
amazing. It's
yeah.
definitely, sometimes when I have issues or I'm not thinking clearly, I will open, there's certain pages in that book that I will open, and it reminds me that you just have to get through things. You keep
Hmm.
going, move forward. Forward motion is what, and she's beautiful. In Daytona, she made my day. I just seeing her face light up and having her there was incredible at the Biker Bells. So, yeah, that's a good hero to have for sure. All right, so nobody can ever pick one. So, what are your 2 most cherished motorcycle memories?
What was that?
Your 2 most cherished motorcycle memories. Like the 2 memories that are the most important to you, like that mean the world to you.
I had to really think about this one because I've told you a lot already, but I think what did I had to really think about this. Oh, my first solo trip. My
Okay.
very first solo trip, that was a big deal for me. And how it made me uh, feel out there by myself. Was my husband concerned and worried? Of course. But there's been other trips that I've gone on by myself, and I just get a wild hair and I say, I got to go. And he understands. And I would have to say that's one of many things that I love my husband about, is how he lets me be me. He supports me, and he understands. He's never held me back from pursuing, like me heading to Tennessee on my motorcycle to see my daughter and Jake and the grandkids. He's
Mm-hmm.
never stopped me from doing that. But so I would have to say my first solo trip to Knoxville, Tennessee to see Trisha, eBay Jake, and my granddaughters.
How awesome. That is fantastic. And so we have a bunch of people tonight. Patricia Thurston, she says she's giving you the clap. Miss Jenny Bass and Kevin Teach Bass. He's back from Donnie Smith. He with his high school class. He's giving you the how you doing. And then Milwaukee Mike is actually tuning in tonight. That's so awesome. That is funny. That's awesome. I'm glad that everybody's tuning in to see all this stuff. So that is an absolute fantastic trip to take for your solo trip. So you had never gone on any other trips by yourself before that. Were you scared to death?
No,
I was ready to go.
Excited. I was ready. I had ridden enough. I went out a lot by myself here, you know, and the way I looked at it is what is so different about being out all day by myself and heading somewhere and staying overnight by myself. Okay, it's a little different. You just have to be smart. You know, if I pull into a gas station and I don't like the looks of it or whatever, I leave and go to the next one and stop at places where there's a lot of people. And, you know, I'm just aware of my surroundings. And I don't I don't carry, because people say, do you carry? I'm like, no, I don't. I just, you know, I try to be smart when I'm on the road. Um, People come up and talk to you. I had a police officer come in and goes, you really shouldn't be out here doing this. And I'm like, well, okay, thanks. Thank you for your concern, but I'm out here and I'm doing it.
Right. Right. And it's kind of like you necessarily do you carry? No, but you dare somebody to just mess with you because I'm sure you got like a 10 or 20-year ass whooping somebody deserves locked up in there somewhere. You know how that is, right? People aggravate you for 10 or 20 years. It just has to come out. So somebody wants to aggravate you on the side of the road, just, you know, take care of it.
You know, that trip was just something I felt like I wanted to do. I needed to do it. And I'll tell you, well, I don't have to tell you this because I know you've done several trips by yourself, but it's probably for me the most empowering thing I would ever do is go on my motorcycle by myself on a trip like that. It makes you learn things about yourself. You can do it. Um, it's just the feeling that you have of the total freedom, total freedom. You're taking care of yourself. You can stop when you want. You can go as fast as you want. You know, you can stop and take a million pictures if you want, which is what I normally do. But that would have to be one of my that was the question, my favorite, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was your again?
Yeah, your favorite, your most cherished.
Okay. The second would be when I completed. Now, this isn't probably a big deal. I know people have probably done way more than this, but the iron butt.
Oh.
But I think it's called the bun burner, where you go 1,000 miles.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Well, it was for me because I did it when I was still working, and I thought I have to do this. I'm on a time frame. I go back to work on Monday. I have to do this. So a friend of mine, and I were heading out to Colorado, and we were going to do it on the way out there, and we got caught up in those Kansas crosswinds, and it was horrible, horrible, horrible. I mean, we were riding sideways, and it was just awful. So coming back, we decided, okay, we're going to do it on the way back, and we accomplished it. We had to do a little bit extra on our route to make the 1,000 miles because we would have been short if we didn't do that. But I was glad. It was a bucket list item for me to complete that. So
that's an amazing accomplishment too. I mean, again, time wise, but then to do it and do the whole 1,000 miles and not cut off 6 miles short or anything like that, but really honestly do it.
You have to keep track of everything because then you send all that in and they let you know if you did it or not. I'm like, well,
right.
I did it. No, I was there. Hello.
I even got the sticker to prove it. Exactly. That is too cool. We have so many cool people. Everybody's like saying hi, and Miss Rogue is watching tonight too. I love him. I adore him. Yeah, and Milwaukee Mike, yes, hello to my high school sweetheart. I see you out there. All right, so my next question, if you could go back and tell your 25-year-old self something, what would that be?
It would be do it now. Don't wait. Don't wait. Just go with your gut, do it now, and take care of your joints. And I don't mean the ones. I mean, take care of your joints and everything. Take care of your health, because when you start putting miles on your body, you start feeling stuff. So I would say take care of your health and do it now. Don't don't procrastinate. If there's something you want to do, you want to learn how to ride that bike, you want to, whatever it is, do it now.
That's awesome. That is something good to tell yourself if you could go back.
Yeah.
I agree with that. All right. So then if money didn't matter and you could take a road trip on your motorcycle anywhere, where would that be and with who?
The Pacific Coast Highway with Timmy, my husband, for sure. We've always talked about doing that and how we would do it. We'll haul the bikes out there. We go out there and you rent a bike. What do you do? So the Pacific Coast Highway would be really cool to do. My other choice would be ride coast to coast with Gloria when on her 100th birthday.
Oh my goodness. Count me in for
Yeah,
sure. That would
yeah.
be amazing. And when I saw her in Daytona, I said to her, I said, "So did you get a trike?" And she looked right at me and said, "I'm not that old yet. I bought a Can-Am." I'm like, "Okay then, Miss Sporty." Like, still has to lead the pack. Oh, she right then she just magnificently inspired me once again that was going to be 98 this year, 97. She'll be 97.
98.
98. God, love her. And I mean, and she's telling me now, not a trike. I'm not that old yet. I bought a Can-Am. I'm like, oh, heck yeah. She'll be doing burnouts in the parking lot. I love her.
That girl is spunky. I mean, she really is, and so sharp, so
Oh,
sharp. We talk, on the phone often, and I just she's very, very sharp, and
yes.
she inspires me, to want to take better care of my health and everything, just to do the right things and all that kind of stuff. Take care of my joints.
That's funny. That is funny. That is too true. Okay. So, I don't know if you heard tonight's question or not. I had put up a little bit of a video online about backing up your motorcycle and showing other riders a technique. So the gentleman had asked if there were any other cool tips or tricks that I had. Any suggestions for better leverage on your motorcycle? Things you should do, watch out for when you're riding.
I think for me, when I first got my first street glide, I felt like I had to ride that a little differently than my deluxe, and like making tight turns. I feel like for me, if I lean more and drop my knee out, that helps me to make a tighter turn for some reason.
Okay.
I don't know how to explain it any better, but that's just what I do on my bike. Um, Technique. Hmm. That would be the first thing that comes to mind is making those tight right turns where you don't have a whole lot of space and really, leaning and dropping that knee just a little bit to bring more weight so that you can make a tight turn.
Okay. That's good. That's a good one. I like that one. That is
Oh,
very good. Okay. So then will you tell us something about yourself that's good that others may not know?
I survived 18 years at the Illinois tollway. Um, to me, that's a really great accomplishment.
Yes. Yes.
That was a big deal because um, a lot of people don't know that I used to work for the Illinois Tollway, and it was a lot of it was a sacrifice, like any job is with anyone. Mine, I would get stuck working double shifts, which would be 16-hour shifts, and many of them overnight. If someone didn't show up, yours truly was always asked to stay. So when I worked there, I would work overnight. And if there was riding, some type of a ride going on that day, I would come home and I would or ride with friends until no later than 3. If I wasn't in bed by 3 to get back into that shift that night, I was a zombie at work. So then I'd have to go sleep in the bathroom on my breaks.
I love you. You are awesome. That is so badass. I swear. That's too funny. And Colleen Crawford says hello.
Hi.
Everybody's commenting. It's so awesome that they're all watching. So then, if the last thing, if you would give us your 5 good things.
Okay. I wrote those down too. My husband, who tolerates all the wonderful things that I've done in our 45 years of marriage.
Nice. I like that.
My family, my 2 daughters, their grandkids, and my son, eBay Jake.
Okay.
My doggy, McLovin, who we talked about earlier, he's such a good little fella. All of the people who have entered my life and have supported me over the years, I appreciate them all. Everything they've done for me, and I appreciate all of those people that have come into my life. And then the 5th, writing season is upon us, very, very close, and I'm very excited about that, being in Northern Illinois.
Miss Ellie, you are amazing. I can't thank you enough for being here and letting us get to know you a little better. I hope everyone watching checks out the Choose Your Charity with Old National Bank, and they check out the Midwest Women Writers, all the things that you have going on, your nonprofit and everything. And if you don't get a chance to go this year, put it on the calendar for next year. I am. So tell Tim I said thank you so much. I'm grateful for him, sharing his time, because I know time with you is important to him. So 45 years, God bless you guys. That's awesome. That is amazing. And
Thank you. Yeah.
you don't look a day over 45, so I'm in awe of you. You're so good. So then I'll be seeing you soon.
All right, sounds like a deal.
All right, and so everybody watching gets to know, I will put this stuff up. We'll promote the event, but tickets close on Thursday. That's it.
Yep, the end of this month. Don't call me, don't text me, don't show up at my doorstep, don't email, because it has to close on Thursday at 11:59 p.m.
That's perfect. I'll call you Friday morning. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I love you. All right. You have a wonderful night, and I will see you soon. Thank you
Bye,
so much.
everybody.
How awesome is that? I am so lucky. Again, Miss Ellie Rains and Sir Tim Rains, he gave us time with her. So we're grateful for that. Thank you, Tim. And everybody watching, thank you for all your comments. Don's been putting them up, and it's pretty cool. I'm liking this. He's doing a good job. And yes, Tim and Ellie are 2 of the nicest people ever. I have to agree. And eBay Jake is her son-in-law. Who'd have thunk it? Oh my goodness. That makes us all family. That is too cool. I see you, Ditch. I see you. Thank you. All right. So we're just going to go to the afterthought for everybody this evening. All right. Dare to inspire. Of course, that's the theme of the night. Inspiring others is an incredible feeling. And it's an awesome opportunity to share the things you're passionate about, right? So passion is contagious. It can spread like wildfire, but if you cannot forget, you have to be inspired yourself. So be open to other things that may light your fire. People that I meet continually inspire me, and I'm so grateful on a daily basis. So to say, I say, make it a point to find your inspiration. It's invigorating. And boy, you see me reading the prompter over here? That's pretty funny. You guys get a kick out of that, because I'm laughing internally, because all of a sudden I just had a poof moment. Like the little idea should show up above my head. Okay. So anyways, light bulb. Don's like, I got a light bulb for you, honey. Put it to a close. All right. Well, you all inspire me to do this. Be right here, right now, doing this little show. Don't forget, smile big, spread your sunshine, be kind to others and yourself. It matters. And then please participate in the show by sending your 5 good things, cool stuff, events, charities, programs that in your area, or questions for a bit of biker chick perspective to the email address on the screen. Please keep it positive. Don't forget, send in this week for the contest for the ladies for the rider course. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's on the screen there. Stay and share, please share, and stay tuned for more great guests. Next week, I have a fantastic guest. You're going to love her. She's amazing. So I'll put out the announcement. I'm going to keep you guys in suspense, as I always do. And I love Kevin Bass. I see you. Yes, teach positive energy. That's what we do. Inspire. I love that, man. And we're going to have him on the show one day soon, too, because he's doing incredible things. He always has and continues to do so. So, all right. Thanks to Miss Ellie for joining us. Thanks to our sponsors, Techno Research, and our advertisers, Seaside Subs. Thanks all for viewing, and we'll see you next week, 10 p.m. Eastern, for another great show. Love to you all, and chopper on.